it takes some level of willingness for that soul to step forward. And this is part of a lot of the agendas in the New Age community, and also what people call love and light and stuff like that, is to make them in a way, convince them in a way, and lead them down a path of sitting down submissively, passively, right? Thinking that somehow being awake and aware and enlightened, or the truth of things, is somehow you become more, get rid of your ego, become more submissive, sit back and do nothing. When it's a very active role, the more you awake, sometimes the more angry you get because you see things for what they really are. Even unconditional love is misunderstood, right? Love, the true frequency of love. When people think of love, they think of, and although this is, there's truth to it as well, but they purely think of love and unconditional love as a very passive thing. Sit back, allow, right? When love is it's the very energy and the force that creates all things. And they perverted it and twisted it in such a way that now people are using love in a way of in a place of non-creation, right? Love is a weapon just as much as it is creation itself, because love could pierce through a mountain and pierce through all barriers if applied correctly, right? It's no different from a mother giving birth to a child, right? So she loves this child unconditionally. Now watch what happens due to unconditional love. If that child's put in any harm, that mother will pierce through all barriers, right? Everything that's placed in front of that mother due to the unconditional love for the child, to protect the child, right? So when you start applying love in the correct way, in terms of not in this overly passive state, and you start directing it, right? That is a very powerful force, right? And it's also, it's love, unconditional love, right? You can't have unconditional love with a judgment. And this also applies to this as well. People that are judging, right? So when people judge other people, they literally step out of unconditional love and they become no different from the very things that the very evil that they judge, right? This is where you'll hear me say sometimes, I don't necessarily work for the light, but I don't work for the dark either, because the light and the dark both have judgments on one another, and you'll begin to quickly see the foundation of that. They're actually no different, right?